I've always loved MMORPGs. My entire teenage years revolved around them. Thanks to these games, I learned English and met most of my best friends. If you've ever played any MMO, you know that dungeons are one of the genre's essential pillars. Dungeons are content where multiple players, often complete strangers, team up to defeat enemies, collect loot and treasures, and take down bosses. And this loop repeats endlessly with new challenges, tougher enemies, and so on. From the moment Fellowship was announced, I felt that a hero-based dungeon simulator could be a lot of fun. Knowing the dev team behind it, I was genuinely optimistic about its release. The open beta launched 2 days ago, and I dove straight into the challenge, grinding dungeons over and over with random people, reliving what I used to do daily for years. It's important to note that you don't create your own character here, you choose from pre-designed heroes. Unfortunately, their appearance doesn't change with new gear, only cosmetic items can alter their look. The game really pushes the classic MMO-style dungeon finder and dungeon crawling mechanics to the max. Fellowship features 3 roles: Tank, the frontline character who absorbs damage for the team, Healer, who keeps the team alive, especially Tank, and the DPS, the heavy hitters who deal damage and try to eliminate enemies as quickly as possible. All you need to do is pick a character you like and jump in. Since it's a hero-based team game, you can switch between characters anytime and even have multiple of the same characters in a team, though that only applies to DPS roles. Whenever I play team-based games, I always go for a support class, either tank or healer. This time was no different. The moment I launched the game, I saw Helena, one of the playable tanks, and I instantly knew she would be my first pick. In games like this, I like to focus on one character and max it out as much as possible. I've played around 6 hours with her so far, so here's a summary of what it's like to play Fellowship as a tank and what the game itself is like. Fellowship breaks from the classic format. Instead of 5 players, you only need 4 for a full team. Players wait in a central hub until the matchmaking system pulls them in, or they form their own party and queue together to dive into the depths of the dungeons. I am not sure if the usual MMO habits apply here, but as a tank, I found the team in about 3 seconds. Though that was only true for quick matches, ranked matchmaking was a different story. So with zero experience on my character, I jumped into dungeon crawling, and within seconds, I felt that familiar MMO dungeon vibe we all know. Tap targeting, 8 starting abilities, and tons of enemies trying to stop us. Most mechanics are familiar. Dodge this, interrupt that, stand here to absorb damage, and so on. Dungeons are timed, so besides having fun and smashing enemies, there's a bit of pressure too. Some bosses had interesting mechanics, like chaining yourself to a mast or standing in thorny plants summoned by a boss to avoid being swept by a vortex. The UI and the HUD is super familiar, and we have miniatured option from the get-go, so that's a huge plus in my opinion. What's refreshing is that each dungeon takes about 10 to 15 minutes and your character don't start from scratch. Even the starter heroes can pull off cool mechanical combos and have everything needed for immersive, character-driven gameplay. So I charged ahead, taunted enemies, fortified my defenses at the right moment, interrupted interruptible abilities, and fearlessly faced the bosses until they dropped. It's worth mentioning that yellow marked abilities can be interrupted, but grey ones cannot. In the current version of the game, there are 5 or 6 dungeons that repeat. It's not bad, but after a while they can get repetitive, especially if you get the same one twice in a row. After each completed dungeon, you get a reward, so the first 16 wins always give you something: new abilities, talent points, and some resources to trade for new items and regions. I tried ranked dungeons before completing my first 16, but the matchmaking didn't work well, and after waiting several minutes, I gave up. There were some server hiccups here and there, but I have to say, I was expecting much worse. If you get bored of quick matches and want a bigger challenge, the rank system is the next step. The dungeons are the same, but in harder modes, and you can keep pushing them higher and higher. At the time of recording, I reached Contender 5 with Helena. Ranked dungeons also have a time limit. You must complete them within it to move to the next level. Contender is the first league, there are more beyond it, but I cannot comment on those yet. By the way, it's worth spamming the classic LFM message in the hub for better success. Between dungeons, you can spend time shopping, upgrading gear, practicing your rotation and forging. From my experience, starter and early gear cannot be forged, so I did not bother with them. The items I got later could only be transformed into other items, so I won't say more about forging. I don't want to make inaccurate claims. Overall, Fellowship is a very enjoyable little dungeon simulator where you can experience the essence of MMOs in just minutes. After playing one character for about 6 hours, I can say I had a great time, but I also feel I could handle about 6 more hours before switching to another character. I think the developers anticipated this with the core gameplay loop, so in any case, Fellowship delivers what it promised, and I'm curious to see how the other characters perform. The open beta is available to everyone on Steam. I think it's worth trying, it's a fun experience. Early access launches in October. Have you tried it yet? If so, which character is your favorite so far? Gameplay videos featuring Fellowship characters are coming soon. Take care.